Once upon a time, in the ancient Greek world, war was a constant companion, lurking on the edges of civilization. It wasn't just about clashes between neighboring city-states or grand battles between vast alliances. It was ingrained in the very fabric of society. Picture this: city-states locked in rivalries, each vying for power and glory. What started as bands of warriors led by strong leaders evolved into organized militias, drawing citizens into the fray. These militias weren't just ragtag groups, they were sanctioned by the city's elite, with generals held accountable for their actions. Back in those days, training was hit or miss, and soldiers often had to fashion their own weapons. But by the 5th century BCE, the Spartans set the gold standard. Their army, with its iconic red cloaks and lambda-emblazoned shields, showcased what professionalism could achieve. Other city-states took note, maintaining their own small professional forces alongside the citizen militias. Warfare wasn't just a matter of one-off battles anymore. It became prolonged conflicts, spanning years and involving diverse forces, from resident foreigners to slaves and mercenaries. The Persian Wars, the Peloponnesian Wars, the Corinthian Wars. These weren't just chapters in history, they were epics of struggle and strife. As the Greek world braced itself for the ebb and flow of warfare, the hoplite emerged as the linchpin of any army. Clad in a formidable array of armor, a long spear, short sword, and circular bronze shield, the hoplite embodied the ideals of manliness and excellence. Generals, leading by example, stood at the forefront, ready to display their courage and skill. Yet, as battles raged on, the need for mobility pushed some hoplites to adopt lighter armor, a clever move to navigate the chaos of close-quarters combat. Amidst the clash of bronze and the dust of battle, a new player entered the stage, the peltast warrior. Lightly armored and armed with short javelins, these nimble fighters posed a threat to the slower-moving hoplites. Other troops, armed with javelins, bows, and slings, joined the fray, challenging the once dominant hoplites. The battlefield became a dynamic dance of attacks and retreats. In the ever-evolving world of Greek warfare, cavalry, hippies, played a role, though in limited numbers due to high costs and challenging terrains. But the decisive cavalry offensives that would rewrite history were still a tale waiting to be told, a narrative that would unfold with the Macedonians under Philip and Alexander in the mid-4th century BCE. The phalanx, a tightly knit formation of well-armed hoplites, became the cornerstone of Greek armies. Imagine a line of soldiers, 8 to 12 men deep, attacking as a united force. Armies themselves became more structured, with units like the lochoi forming the basic elements of the phalanx. These units, led by captains and organized into regiments, operated with precision on the battlefield. But warfare wasn't just confined to the land. The seas bore witness to epic naval battles. States like Athens, Aegina, Corinth, and Rhodes amassed fleets of warships, particularly the fearsome trireme. These ships, with bronze battering rams at the bow, could block enemy harbors and launch amphibious landings. Athens, at its peak, boasted a fleet of 200 triremes, building and maintaining a Mediterranean-wide empire. Naval warfare focused on ramming rather than boarding, a tactic displayed prominently in the historic Battle of Salamis in 480 BCE, where the Athenians triumphed over Xerxes' invading fleet. However, the trireme had its challenges. No room for sleeping quarters meant nightly dry docking to prevent waterlogging. And these war machines, while effective, were costly, a stark reminder that warfare had become an expensive affair, often funded by the deep pockets of private citizens. And battle strategies were not merely about the clash of swords and shields, but were deeply intertwined with religious rituals and divine guidance. Before any campaign could commence, the Greeks sought the favor of the gods through oracles like Apollo at Delphi. Animal sacrifices were performed, and diviners interpreted omens, scrutinizing the liver of the sacrificial victim. Any unfavorable sign could postpone the battle, emphasizing the significance of divine approval. Beyond religious considerations, some states, like Sparta, observed periods when fighting was strictly prohibited, such as during religious festivals and the Panhellenic Games. These ceremonial aspects added a layer of complexity to the already intricate world of warfare. Once the rituals were completed, the actual battle unfolded on a suitable plane. Initially, it was a gentlemanly affair, with both sides patiently waiting for the enemy to assemble. Songs, particularly the Paean hymn to Apollo, echoed through the air as opposing forces approached each other. However, as time progressed, This chivalrous approach gave way to more intricate and subtle battle arrangements. Deception and strategies, referred to as the thieves of war, became tools employed by daring commanders. The hoplite phalanx emerged as the most successful strategy, featuring a tight formation where each soldier, equipped with a large circular shield on the left arm, protected both himself and his neighbor. Moving in unison, the phalanx could push forward and attack while minimizing individual exposure. This formation, particularly favored by the Spartans, played a pivotal role in decisive battles such as Thermopylae in 480 BCE and Plataea in 479 BCE. The effectiveness of the phalanx, however, did not deter innovation on the battlefield. The Theban general Epaminondas, for instance, modified the traditional formation by strengthening the left flank to about 50 men deep, allowing him to crush the opposing Spartan phalanx at the Battle of Lectra in 371 BCE. This tactic was successfully repeated at Mantinea in 362 BCE. As warfare evolved, hoplites adapted to new tactics, incorporating defensive squares and diversifying their formations. Spartan general Brasidas, in 423 BCE, utilized the defensive square against the Lyncestians, while Athenians employed it in Sicily in 413 BCE. The era of fixed battles between heavily armored hoplites gave way to more mobile and multi-weapon warfare. Cavalry and troops armed with projectiles became crucial, capable of influencing the outcome of battles and exposing hoplites without adequate support. The ancient Greek battlefield transformed, reflecting the dynamic nature of military strategies in response to the ever-changing demands of war. As warfare evolved in ancient Greece, so too did the methods of siege warfare, logistics, and the distribution of spoils after victory. The fortified Acropolis, a common feature in Greek city-states, safeguarded important religious and civic structures while providing a refuge during times of conflict. However, with warfare becoming more mobile, cities began fortifying their suburbs and constructing defensive walls to protect against attacks. Lookout towers, frontier forts, and long walls like those between Athens and Piraeus emerged as defensive measures to secure crucial areas. Sieges became protracted battles of attrition, with the primary strategy being to starve the enemy into submission. Early offensive tactics, such as battering rams and ramps, often proved ineffective. However, innovations in siege technology, including wheeled siege towers and projectile weapons, provided attackers with new advantages. The arrival of torsion artillery marked a significant turning point, allowing for the breaching of city walls. In response, defenders reinforced their walls with thicker and stronger structures. Logistical challenges were another crucial aspect of warfare in ancient Greece. Soldiers were typically responsible for providing their own rations, with barley porridge and dried fish being common staples. Baggage porters accompanied armies, carrying supplies and tending to the wounded. During summer campaigns, tents were seldom needed, and food could be sourced from enemy territory. As warfare progressed, armies were increasingly resupplied by ship, and larger equipment could be transported using wagons and mules. The spoils of victory played a significant role in justifying military campaigns. War booty, which could include territory, wealth, and weaponry, allowed victors to reward their troops and finance further campaigns. Losers faced the grim prospect of slavery, while a portion of the booty was often dedicated to religious sanctuaries as thanks to the gods. Victorious leaders performed important rituals following battle, including the recovery of the dead and the erection of victory trophies on the battlefield. These trophies, often comprising captured weapons or images of deities, served as reminders of the triumph. Speeches, festivals, and sacrifices further commemorated victories, highlighting the significance of military success in Greek society. In conclusion, Greek warfare evolved from localized conflicts to massive battles involving multiple allies. Innovations in strategy, weaponry, and logistics paved the way for military dominance, culminating in the campaigns of leaders like Philip II and Alexander the Great. Their successes reshaped warfare not only in Greece but also across Asia, leaving a lasting legacy that influenced military tactics for centuries to come.